Picture this. It's Friday afternoon, and your direct deposit finally hits. You see that number in your banking app, and for exactly 5 seconds, you feel like you've actually got this money thing handled. You tell yourself that this is the month you're finally going to save a decent chunk of your paycheck. But then life happens. You pay the rent, you buy groceries, you grab a coffee with a friend, and by Wednesday, that savings goal has quietly evaporated into thin air. You aren't being reckless. You aren't failing at life. You're just human. But then you look at your account again, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels wider than ever. You start wondering, wait, am I doing this all wrong? Is it possible to be responsible and still feel like you're constantly behind? I get it. It's exhausting to feel like you're working hard, only to see your progress stall out over and over again. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how to automate your savings within just 1 week so you can stop relying on willpower and start letting a system do the heavy lifting for you. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about how to make money work for regular people without all the stress. If you're someone who knows you should be saving more but keeps falling short every single month, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you get your system set up. Here's the thing, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. Relying on your own willpower to save money is a losing game. Most people think that being good with money means having the discipline to manually transfer funds to a savings account every time they get paid. They think that if they just try a little harder, or if they just track their spending a little more intensely, the savings will just pile up. But that is fundamentally flawed. You aren't failing because you lack discipline. You're failing because your system is designed to be interrupted by your daily life. This is where it gets really interesting when we actually look at the math. Let's say you earn $3,000 a month after taxes. If you tell yourself that you'll save whatever is left over at the end of the month, you're essentially banking on the idea that you'll have a good month where you don't have any surprise expenses or social outings. Usually, after paying your fixed costs like rent and utilities, which might take up about $2,000, you're left with $1,000 for everything else. If you try to save manually, you might manage to move $200 to savings on a great month. Over a year, that's $2,400. But if you automate, let's say you set your system to move $500 the second your check hits your account, you've automatically saved $6,000 in that same year. That is a $3,600 difference just by changing how the money moves. Here's what most people don't realize about the way our brains process money. We suffer from something called present bias. It's a fancy way of saying our brains value a coffee or a nice dinner today way more than they value a comfortable retirement 30 years from now. It isn't a character flaw. It's just how we are wired. We are hardwired to prioritize immediate gratification. If you make yourself choose to save every single time you get paid, you are forcing your brain to fight its own biology. That is why automated systems are so much more effective. They remove the need for that constant daily choice. When the money moves before you even see it in your checking account, you stop viewing it as your money to spend. It becomes invisible. And what you can't see, you don't spend. So, how do we actually make this work in 7 days? We're going to call this the set and forget momentum system. Step 1 is the audit of your fixed costs. You need to sit down for 20 minutes and list every single thing that comes out of your account that you absolutely cannot live without. This is your baseline. Your rent, your car payment, your insurance, and your necessary utilities. Don't worry about the variable stuff like food or entertainment just yet. Just focus on the non-negotiables. If you don't know exactly what your floor is, you can't build a structure on top of it. Step 2 is establishing a dedicated high-yield account that is separate from your main checking. Do not use your primary bank if you are prone to checking it constantly. You want a bank that is just far enough away that it takes one extra step to log in, but not so far that you can't get the money if there is a real emergency. This acts as a psychological barrier that prevents you from treating your savings like an extra checking account. Step 3 is the actual automation of the transfer. This is the most important part of the entire process. You need to log into your payroll provider or your bank's recurring transfer settings and set a fixed amount to move to that savings account on the exact day your paycheck hits. Don't wait until the end of the week. Don't wait until you pay your bills. The money needs to move before you even get a chance to open your spending account. Step 4 is adjusting your spending to the new reality. If your income is $3,000 and your fixed costs are $2,000 and you just automated $500 to savings, you now have exactly $500 left for the rest of your life for that month. You have to treat that $500 as your new reality. It's not about restriction. It's about clarity. You aren't broke because you can't buy something. You've already paid your future self, and that is a much better use of those funds. Think of it like a river. If you let the water flow wherever it wants, it's just going to flood the landscape and vanish into the ground. But if you build a narrow channel, the water gains power. It becomes a force that can actually turn a wheel or power a turbine. Your money is the water. Right now, it's flooding your daily spending habits and disappearing. Automation is the channel. It forces that energy into a specific direction so that it builds something solid for you over time instead of just trickling away. Now you might be thinking, what if an emergency happens and I need that money? This is the most common pushback I hear. People are terrified that if they lock their money away, they'll be stuck when the car breaks down or a medical bill hits. I hear you. It is a scary feeling. But here's the reality. If you have an automated savings system, you are actually building a buffer faster than you ever did when you were trying to save manually. You will have a safety net waiting for you that you didn't have before. And if you truly have a crisis, you can always pause the automation for 1 month. It's not a prison sentence. It's a tool. You are the one in charge. Let's quickly recap the steps to building your own automation system. First, audit your fixed expenses to know your financial baseline. Second, open a separate high-yield account that stays out of your daily sight. Third, set up an automatic recurring transfer that moves money the second you get paid. Fourth, manage your lifestyle within the remaining balance, knowing that your most important financial goal is already handled before you even logged into your bank app. The most powerful thing about this process isn't the money you end up with at the end of the year, though that part is obviously great. The real benefit is the peace of mind. When you automate, you stop feeling that little sting of guilt every time you spend money on something you enjoy. Because you already paid your future self, you can actually enjoy the money you have left over without second-guessing every single purchase. You get to stop being a person who is constantly worrying about their balance and start being a person who has a plan. It is a completely different way to live. And I'm curious about something. If you could set up an automatic transfer today, what is the one specific goal or purchase you would be most excited to see that savings account fund a year from now? Let me know in the comments.